From the tank on the campus of the College of Staten Island, you're watching quarterfinal coverage of the 2017-18 CUNYAC tournament right here on CSI Sportsnet. This afternoon, the College of Staten Island will take on Brooklyn College as the number 3 seed takes on the number 6 seed, looking to advance in the CUNYAC tournament to advance into the semifinals that will take place this Tuesday night at the Nat Holman Gymnasium. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Babuski alongside Dave Pizzuto. And Dave, it came down to the last second against Lehman College. The Dolphins had opened up a 1-point lead in that game on a big three-pointer by Eden Brocic, but it turned out not to be enough as Lehman was able to get the last-second basket. So the Dolphins are here today, and they will face Brooklyn College 3 versus 6 in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, technically the Dolphins finished in a tie for second place, Mike, with Baruch College. Both of those schools obviously split their games, so it came down to a tiebreaker, and the tiebreaker, Mike, was won by Baruch because of an actual game against Yeshiva, if you could believe it or not. A common non-conference opponent. Baruch beat that team, and of course CSI lost to Yeshiva very, very early in the season. This is a different CSI Dolphins team than played in that game in the early part. But, Mike, you know, we spoke, even just you and I, about whether the first-round bye is a good thing or a bad thing. We'll see. You know, this is a Dolphins, a Brooklyn team that CSI has faced twice. They've beaten twice already. It's so hard to beat a team 3 times in a season, but when you do, Mike, it does springboard you into that semifinal game with a lot more momentum than sitting idle for the entire weekend. So, obviously, Baruch likes where it's at in the number 2 position, awaiting the winner, probably watching this game, Mike. If not, they're probably in the building as we speak. But at the same time, this will be a good test for both of these teams. And if a win in this game, Mike, gives you plenty of steam heading into that semifinals, and that's a good thing for both these teams.
Yeah, and, you know, the College of Staten Island got back on track a little bit offensively in that game against Lehman College as well, as they were able to score and get up into the 80s again, Dave. They came a point short, but the offense looked a little bit better, and they got much better play in the last couple of games down the stretch out of both Adeola Latunji and Stephen Flagg.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, Mike, when Adeola Latunji and Christian Taylor are both scoring 20 points, and then you mix in 20 points from a person like Stephen Flagg or even an Eden Brocic or a Ray Savage, that's a recipe for disaster for other opponents. And, you know, Lehman caught that a little bit. Lehman didn't have a lot to play for in that game, Mike, but they were on the ropes for, you know, a good 30, 32 minutes of that game before taking a late lead, and CSI had to come back. But, you know, if you're the CSI Dolphins, you know that when your big guns are playing at their best, you're a really hard team to beat. They play fundamentally good basketball. And, Mike, when the Dolphins are protecting the basketball well and when they're rebounding the basketball well, they are a really tough team to defend against and a team to beat. And they proved that against Lehman in their season finale, even though it was a 1-point loss on the road. And you know what? They've beaten Brooklyn twice during this season, and both times they played good fundamental basketball, especially here, Mike, at the Tank, where they won by 32 during the regular season.
Yeah, you know, they had especially good second halves in both of those games, and were able to pull away late in both of those games. But, you know, it's a Brooklyn College team that definitely has the ability to give the Dolphins trouble. And, you know, we should also mention, Dave, that there was one game earlier this afternoon as Hunter College and John Jay played earlier this afternoon, and Hunter College went into halftime with a 38-23 lead in that game, up by 15 points. But John Jay came back with 65 points in the second half to 39 to end up turning around a 15-point deficit into an 88-77 win. So a big come-from-behind victory for John Jay. I would classify it as a little bit of an upset here in game number 1.
Yeah, especially when you look at how difficult it's been for John Jay to score points. It was a big, impressive victory for them. And, Mike, those 65 points in the second half on the road to boot. At Hunter. So, Mike, you know, that score that you see on your screen right now, that's living proof that when you get into this tournament, you can forget about your records. It doesn't matter. John Jay, during the regular season, finished 11-14 and 8-8 in the conference. Take those records, throw them up in a little ball and throw it in the wastepaper basket. No one cares. Everybody's 0-0 when you get to the playoffs. John Jay's victory at Hunter is proof of that. And you better believe this Brooklyn Bulldogs team believes in that, knows that if they win today, no one's going to care what their regular season record was. They're going to have defeated the defending CUNY champs, and they're going to go on to semifinal play. So a huge game, one quarterfinal in the books. This is the second of two that are going on this evening, and by the end of it, we'll have our semifinal matches already pegged up.
Yeah, and John Jay shot 63% from the floor, 19 of 30, Dave, and 21 of 24 from the free throw line, 88%. So they just had off-the-chart numbers. And, Dave, it's like you mentioned before, you get into these one-game playoffs and it's the player that gets hot, the team that gets that second personal foul early in the half on one of their key players. Those kind of things really swing these games around, and that's why it's always risky in these quarterfinal matches.
Yeah, it's basically 40 minutes, Mike, of which team's the better team on the floor for those 40 minutes. And that's why everything that you've done during the regular season, all that cachet that you've built, it really doesn't mean much, because the team that ends up playing the best 40 minutes of both of these teams, that's the team that's going to end up winning this game. CSI and Brooklyn, neither one of these teams, Mike, is good enough to make up for colossal mistakes. So if both of these teams make big mistakes, if they get in foul trouble, if they're weak on the boards, if they fall behind too quickly by too many points, that's, talent-wise, they don't have enough to overcome that. And that's not an indictment on Brooklyn. That's not an indictment on the College of Staten Island. It's just simply the way it is in the CUNY Conference. There are very few teams. You can look at even Lehman, Mike. They took CSI to overtime in the first game and ended up winning by 1 at the buzzer over at Lehman. So, there's a very, very razor blade line between the top team in this conference and the 4th, 5th, and 6th team in this conference. And that's why the playoffs are so important, and that's why every possession is so critical.
And, we take a look at this CSI Dolphin team, and, they were led in scoring by sophomore Christian Taylor, who averaged over 16 points a game. And, what makes that so impressive is he also shot 46% from the three-point line, and was second on the team in rebounding as well. So quite an impressive year for the sophomore, which led to his first team CUNYAC selection. And Adeola Latunji, a player we talked about a little bit earlier, that really started to come on offensively, picks up second team honors for the Dolphins as well. So a couple of sophomores honored in the CUNYAC All-Star teams.
Yeah, that's awesome for the Dolphins, and for Christian Taylor, who was here last year under the wing, I guess, of Frank Schettino, and having to play behind him, getting some good minutes last year in some big moments. But of course now he was thrust into the spotlight, Mike, and has really achieved some great success. And then you got a kid, Mike, like Adeola Latunji, who's been out of basketball for a little while. He attended the University of Albany, did not play. That's why he's an academic sophomore and a first-time freshman. And there was a lot of questions surrounding Adeola coming in. Head coach T.J. Tibbs knew of all the raw talent that he possessed. Didn't know if he could put it all together in time, Mike, to play organized basketball again. And then you look at the season that he put up, and you look at the numbers: 15.8 per game, leads the team in rebounds, is great defensively, leads the team in steals. And for a kid who you didn't know what you were going to get out of him coming into the season, man, has he produced a great deal. And for all intents and purposes, Mike, the CUNY named him a second team. He's just as good as the first team on some days. He's the best kid playing on the floor for either team. So he's got that kind of a build, that kind of substance going for him. And Mike, to think that he's a sophomore and his 2 best years are still ahead of him, it's pretty scary.
And, Dave, you look at this matchup here against Brooklyn College tonight, and, there are a couple of players for the Dolphins that, when they're going well offensively, and I'm talking about Eden Bracic and Robert Rossiter, especially when they're hitting their shots from the outside, that really opens up a lot of different avenues for this Dolphin offense.
Yeah, you know what, Mike, and especially Stephen Flagg, and Rob Rossiter, because they're inside-out players as well. Stephen Flagg most recently has really developed his three-point game. So you think all right, I'm going to contest him at the perimeter. Well, then he beats you to the inside almost every time. He's got a great first move to the basket, Mike. And Rob Rossiter is very much the same kind of player. If you're going to play him at the perimeter, he's going to cut inside. Eden is the same way, Eden Bracic. He passes up a lot of inside shots, but he's able to distribute on the inside. And that's the danger, Mike. If you leave these guys open from the perimeter, they're going to kill you with the three-point shot. No one knows that more than Brooklyn, because CSI absolutely destroyed Brooklyn from beyond the arc in both games, Mike. And so if you're going to contest that perimeter shot, you better be adept at getting on the inside, because those guys will cut it up inside. So they're dangerous two-way players, and the Dolphins are going to look to exploit that again tonight.
And you know, Dave, of course, this is the first year for head men's basketball coach TJ Tibbs. How do you think he handles the pressure tonight of getting in his first CUNYAC tournament game, a one-and-done situation here at home at the Tank?
Well, let me tell you something about TJ. I know the team is going to be prepared. This is a guy who, no matter what time you come to the facility, he's there. He's watching film. He's breaking it down. He's got big game plans for his teams. And, I think being at home, Mike, really helps a lot in this situation. It's your first playoff game. There's no doubt about it. TJ could tell us till he's blue in the face how he's not nervous. He's nervous. Trust me, I'm nervous. So are you. Everybody around playoff basketball gets nervous. But I think as far as preparation is concerned, I think the Dolphins are always super prepared. That's one of the calling cards of this team. They're facing a very well-coached team in Brooklyn College, but a team, Mike, that pound for pound, on paper, they should fare well against as long as they do their job and are prepared, and I believe CSI will be.
So that brings you up to date on the CSI Dolphins. Why don't we step aside, take our first break here in the pregame show. We'll be back, bring you up to date really on tonight's opponent, the Brooklyn College Bulldogs, and talk a little bit about the CUNYAC tournament on both the men's and women's side as you're watching 2017-18 CUNYAC quarterfinal coverage right here on your voice of everything CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Mom. Dear.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who wants to care of you.
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
For the
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
We're back, and we're just moments away from the start of tonight's quarterfinal game between the College of Staten Island and the Brooklyn College Bulldogs. And Dave, we talked a little bit about the College of Staten Island. Let's turn our attention a little bit to the Bulldogs. They're coming in 7-18 overall, but 7-9 in the conference. So this is a team that did not win a non-conference game the entire year long. You mentioned earlier the Dolphins played and beat them in both games, but we've seen them enough to know they have several dangerous players and could definitely give the Dolphins problems here tonight.
Yeah, and I think they sent the Dolphins a message when they played it in Brooklyn, Mike. It was just, I think, 10 days ago that game was played, maybe even less than that. The Dolphins beat Brooklyn by 32 points here at the Tank earlier this season. It was their biggest win in the series in something like 14 years or something like that. But then in the game at Brooklyn, Mike, Brooklyn paced most of the first half. They were up, by a couple. The Dolphins would take the lead. There were a lot of lead changes, and it wasn't until the early stages of the second half where the Dolphins put a little bit of a buffer between the two sides, Mike. And the biggest difference, Mike, was the rebounding and the three-point shooting. This is a Brooklyn College team. They don't shoot particularly well from the outside. They're only 31% from beyond the arc, but they only shot about 25% in the 2 regular season games. And for CSI, Mike, they only shoot the three-pointer at about 34% this season. In their 2 games against Brooklyn, they've shot it 39%. So CSI shot the three-point shot much better than their season average in the 2 regular season games, and Brooklyn shot it a lot poorly than they're used to. So Brooklyn knows that if they can keep their shooting tempered and if they can keep the Dolphins at bay on the glass, they definitely have a puncher's chance in this game without question, especially after the last game at Brooklyn, which is more aligned in what's in CSI's head than that early season game where CSI just ran away with it and it got out of control and they ended up winning by 30-something. But the game at Brooklyn is more indicative of where these two teams stand right now. And if you're Brooklyn, you got to feel a little bit of quiet confidence going in. Don't forget, Mike, 2 years ago, these two teams played in the postseason and Brooklyn won the game.
Yeah, and Brooklyn coming off of a win against York College in their final regular CUNYAC season game this Tuesday night and broke the century mark in that game. And Niv Cofino led the team in scoring. He finished with 26 points in that game, Dave, but he was 19 of 20 from the free throw line in that game against York College. So you really talk about making a living at the line. Niv certainly did that in that game. But, you look up and down this Brooklyn College lineup, and they have a lot of balance. Only one player, Dave, that averages double figures. That's Ben Patash. But a lot of players up at 7 or 8 points and above.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're very balanced as an offensive unit. They don't rely on just a singular player. In fact, in the game that they played at Brooklyn, it was Maynard Grant who really stepped up and played well, especially in that first half. So there's a lot of different unique pieces to this puzzle. Henry O'Reilly is a really good three-point shooter that hurt the Dolphins in the later stages of the first half of the game that they played here at CSI. So Brooklyn has a lot of moving parts. They have a lot of good pieces, and they also have a Staten Islander in Michael Tesserero, who also played well in the games that were played against CSI. A little bit of a homecoming for him, obviously. He's a sophomore on this team. And, Mike, that's the one thing these two teams have in common. They're both very young, and very young teams have an ability to surprise you when you least expect to be surprised. So, obviously, Brooklyn knows that. They know that they're the underdog. They get to play with a little bit of house money here in this game. And, you know, they have the benefits of knowing that the last time they played the Dolphins in the postseason, they were on top.
And, you know, you look at the CSI Dolphin team tonight, and, you know, one of the things the Dolphins have struggled a little bit, especially in the second half of the season, Dave, is points off of the bench. And now with Stephen Flagg going into the starting lineup, they're really going to be looking at players like Jade Spencer and especially Raymond Savage to come off the bench and give them some points here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. That's always been an Achilles heel with this CSI team. And you look at when CSI has been at their best through the years, it's always been when they've had that 6th, 7th, and 8th player who can come in and, again, surprise you for 10, 11, 12 points. And the Dolphins have been able to do that in games where they've had success, and they're going to look for that. Jade Spencer was a huge X factor in last year's championship run as a freshman. We'll see what he has to offer here at this stage. And whatever it is, Mike, we have a lot of people who are joining us. We know that snow is in the forecast. The crowd here is good. It's getting even better. We have a lot of fans at home. I know Liliana and Sabrina and Jennifer are listening to us right now. So we want to say hi, guys. We love you. We keep watching us tonight, and let's hope for a CSI Dolphins win.
Yeah, and, you know, we're edging closer and closer to the start of tonight's game. So why don't we step aside and take a break, and then we'll be back to bring you the starting lineups, Dave's keys to the game, and then the opening tip of tonight's quarterfinal matchup between the College of Staten Island and the Brooklyn College Bulldogs, as you're watching quarterfinal coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook.
Fire in the hole!
And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly tamed them.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
Here at Tim Hortons, we know what mornings are all about. Bacon. Wake up to 6 strips of crispy bacon on a toasted everything bagel. The new Bacon Everything Bagel Sandwich. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
There's something delicious happening this season at Tim Hortons, and it's only 99 cents. Get a rich, decadent hot chocolate or creamy French vanilla for the sweet price of 99 cents. Great quality at a great value. It's all good at Tim Hortons.
We're back, and we're moments away from the start of tonight's game between the College of Staten Island and the Brooklyn College Bulldogs. The Dolphins coming in 14-11, 12-4 overall. Brooklyn 7-18, 7-9 overall. And the Bulldogs are being introduced out on the floor as we speak. And here to bring you the starting lineups for both teams tonight, my broadcast partner, Dave Pizzuto. Dave?
Yeah, you can see him on your screen, Mike. Very familiar. Number 1, Ben Batosh is their leading scorer. Number 3, Michael Tesserero. Number 4, the lone forward, Maynard Grant IV. Niv Confino, one of 2 seniors on the team. And then, of course, the dynamic freshman, number 14, Alpha Ba, rounds it out. And for the CSI Dolphins, the defending CUNYAC champions, they will go also with a familiar starting 5. Number 2, Adeola Latunji. We mentioned him a great deal. Number 23, Christian Taylor is there as well. The centerpiece there in the middle. Number 1, Stephen Flagg, who's really come on strong. Had a great game against Brooklyn the last time out. Then it's Eden Bracic coming off a great game against Lehman College in the regular season finale. And then you have number 31, the forward, Robert Rossiter, a good two-way inside-out player. Mike, that's your starting 5. The Dolphins, of course, coached by first-year head coach T.J. Tibbs.
And, you know, Dave, we mentioned earlier the Dolphins coming in with some very excellent play out of their 2 sophomore guards in Adeola Latunji and Christian Taylor. But as both teams get ready on the bench, what are your keys of tonight's game, Dave, for the Dolphins to advance to Tuesday night and get into the Nat Holman Gymnasium, try to defend their CUNYAC championship?
Yeah, Mike, you see it on your screen. I think, you know, this is a young team, a team that really has a lot of pieces that have never been here before, but they need to play like champs. Until somebody beats them, they're the defending champs. They own the floor. They have the court. So they need to play like the champs that they are. Then, Mike, it's the little things. It's getting on the floor for a loose ball. It's taking charges. It's getting that second chance offensive rebound. It's boxing out on free throws, Mike. The little things, the fundamental differences are going to be the difference in a game like this. And then, Mike, as is always the case, the Dolphins got to keep the paint clear. They got to get rebounds, offensive and defensive, and they really need to make the paint their place where they do business tonight.
The CSI Dolphins 12-4 in the conference this year. All 4 of those losses, really close games that could have went either way. So the Dolphins now in the quarterfinals against Brooklyn College. The winner of tonight's game will play Baruch College this Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. So the opening tip is controlled by the Bulldogs, and it's Grant with the basketball. He hands off to Cesario. Now it's Batosh. He drives down the lane, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul. And took him 14 seconds, Dave, to blow the first whistle of the game here tonight.
Eek, if you're a Dolphins fan, that's not a good sign. Rob Rossiter, who is notorious for getting into foul trouble, picks up his first there. And again, Mike, there was definitely some body there, but there was a good parry of the ball as well. And Dolphins get a break as Batosh misses the first. He's a 70% free throw shooter.
So one more free throw upcoming here for the Bulldogs as Batosh hits 1 of 2. The Bulldogs take an early lead here, and Taylor will start the first possession for the Dolphins here tonight. Now it's Flagg out by the three-point line. He feeds it out over to Bracic. Now Flagg looks to feed the ball inside as he works the ball into Latunji. His first shot is up, no good. Grant controls the rebound, and here comes the Bulldogs looking to run. Grant puts up that long jumper. It's no good, but he's able to grab his long rebound. Batosh takes it all the way to the basket, but misses the layup.
Yeah, nice move by Batosh. He just couldn't finish, Mike, but that was a nice move to get to the right side of the paint.
Taylor kicking it out to Bracic. He fakes the three-pointer, works it over to the baseline to Latunji. His shot's a little bit off, Dave, and Latunji misses his first shot here of the evening.
Yeah, it was kind of an off-angle baseline shot, Mike, and just you could tell it gave him difficulty as soon as it left his hands.
Cesario with the basketball, looks to set up offensively for the Bulldogs. Grant with the basketball, now looking to feed the ball inside. We're going to have a whistle and a blocking foul. And boy, oh boy, Dave, 2 quick ones against the Dolphins. And, we saw a little of this in both halves against Lehman College. The Dolphins in early foul trouble in those halves, and I didn't think that was much of a foul there either, Dave.
No, and if that's going to be a foul, Mike, we're going to see a lot of them in this game. And there is one, Mike, another. And we're going to see a bunch of fouls in this game. The fans behind us do not like it.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, Dave. 3 fouls called in a minute and 19 seconds, and really none of them had any real impact on the play. So the Dolphins in foul trouble immediately. Rossiter goes to the bench, and that's a little bit of what we were talking about, Dave, in the pregame.
Yeah, absolutely. But now that brings in Jade Spencer, so big minutes here for the young sophomore.
So let's see what Spencer could do with an opportunity he probably didn't expect coming into the game tonight. Brachich with the basketball. He works it in the corner to Latunji. Now back out over the flag. Dolphins starting a little bit slow offensively as Taylor bangs off a body, and his short jumper is in.
He's got such a smooth release, Mike. When he's up in the air, he's able to make a couple of different moves. And, Brooklyn's doing a good job on the perimeter with their defense. Dolphins doing well to cut inside.
Brooklyn working the ball in the corner now as they look to drive it inside. They hand the ball off to Grant. Grant spinning around now. He'll back the ball out to Batash, and Brooklyn will reset now with 10 on the shot clock. Batash over to Ba. Has it knocked away, and here come the Dolphins looking to run 3-on-3. Taylor looking to go coast to coast and lays it up and in. Taylor working his way to the basket, Dave.
Yeah, own the paint. The Dolphins did it on both ends of the floor that time.
4-1, but Brooklyn able to come right back, and that's Cafino with his first basket of the night.
And you see how both teams, Mike, want to make it a point to work in transition. First Taylor, now Confino.
Taylor looking to lob the ball inside. Well covered that time. And it's Brooklyn coming away to Serio, working it up over to Batash. And now Tesario will look to set up offensively, and he'll turn the ball over.
Tesorero had an open lane right to the hoop, decided to pass instead. Big turnover there for Brooklyn.
Now Flag looking to feed the ball inside to Spencer, but the Dolphins nearly turned the ball over, and now they're going to get called for a foul. So the Dolphins with 4 fouls already, Dave, here in 3 minutes of this first half, as we see a nice replay of that layup by Christian Taylor.
Yeah, and then, on this side, Flag actually made a really nice pass to Spencer, who couldn't corral it in. He kind of fumbled it, and that led to the whole exchange and the foul.
So Brooklyn College with the basketball. Dolphins in early foul trouble here as they pick up 4 early personals. As that shot is going to be up and in. That time is Ba. A little bit of a hook shot there by the freshman.
Yeah, and they are working clearly on Jade Spencer now, Mike. They've made it a point to kind of attack him in Rossiter's absence. And Brooklyn takes back the lead since they led 1-0.
Flag, nice feed inside to Latunji. As the Dolphins, Spencer is able to lay it up and in. And, boy, it sure looks like there might be some contact on some of those inside plays there, but it's the Dolphins regaining a 6-5 lead.
Yeah, inside the small arc, obviously. Latunji couldn't get it, but Jade Spencer was there to clean it up. Nice play by Jade.
Cafino backing the ball out now, driving his way inside. His shot is knocked away. Now the open three-pointer is no good. Spencer there to grab the rebound, and here come the Dolphins. Taylor, pull-up jumper, goes in and out, and the rebound will be controlled now by Cafino. Batash over to Tesario. He pulls up and takes the long three-pointer, and that's good.
Yeah, nice ball screen by Brooklyn that time. Tesorero had space, let it loose. First three-pointer of the game. And, Mike, we mentioned in the pregame how much Brooklyn enjoys shooting the three, Mike. Both these teams with very similar numbers. Brooklyn put up 691 three-pointers, Mike. That's 140 more than their opponents. So they will unleash a lot. They don't shoot it particularly well from beyond the arc, just 31%. But in both games that they played against CSI, Mike, they did not shoot the ball well from three-point range. That's a really good sign for the Bulldogs.
And, Dave, the Dolphins finding themselves in early foul trouble as a team as they have 4 fouls through the first 4.5 minutes. But they also find Rob Rossiter on the bench. So TJ Tibbs with a short bench already finds one of his starters on the bench with 2 early personals.
Yeah, and if you're TJ, you have to think that that's going to slow down eventually, that those fouls are going to find a way to even out at some point. At least you'd hope so. But, yeah, that's to have Rossiter sitting on the bench after only 1 minute and 15 seconds. That's tough as you see the shooting on your screen. Both teams pretty on par, and it's reflective in the score as well.
So it's Flagg with the basketball. Dolphins down by 2. He looks to work his way inside, and now he'll get called for an offensive foul.
Tesorero's moving from left to right trying to guard Flagg, and again, I'm not crazy about the call either way on that. I mean, that's just was a sell by Tesorero. Good job on him to sell it, but that's 5 personal fouls in the Dolphins, none for Brooklyn.
Yeah, Dolphins find themselves in foul trouble here as it's Patosh with the basketball. Bounce pass now goes up over to Grant. Grant drives his way inside and lays it up and in.
Yep, and Brooklyn, again, they're going to attack the paint. If you're the Dolphins, you have to own the paint. That time they did not. Maynard Grant had separation, had room, made it count.
As Bracic comes back with a big three-pointer of his own. First three-pointer of the night for the Dolphins.
Yeah, when he gets hot early in games, Mike, he usually stays hot. Good sign for the Dolphins.
10-9, Dolphins trail by 1 as they drive to the basket. Patosh, and that shot is up, no good. And Bracic with the ball now for the Dolphins. Eden feeding the ball inside to Latunji, who banks it up and in.
That's the one thing about Latunji. Very calm when he works on the baseline. That time he's able to stop, dribble, and shoot off the glass. Nice soft touch by Adiola.
Dolphins now on a 5-0 run to retake a 1-point lead, 11-10. Grant looking to work his way inside. His shot's going to be knocked away nicely by Spencer. It'll remain Brooklyn basketball.
Yeah, good job by Spencer since he's checked in, Mike. Defensively, he's been awesome. And Stephen Flagg will now get his first blow of the afternoon as Ray Savage comes in for some big minutes. There we go, moving screen. Sorry, Mike.
No problem. We're going to have a whistle and an offensive foul for Brooklyn. Their first team foul of the night, as that will be on Alpha Ba. So it will be Dolphins basketball now. As Savage comes out on the floor along with Taylor, Bracic, Spencer, and Latunji here for the Dolphins, who lead by 1. Bracic over to Savage. Now gets the ball up over to Taylor. Dolphins went from one first-team CUNYAC All-Star point guard to another this year, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. He's been tremendous.
As Savage gets that three-pointer up with a hand in his face, and now the Dolphins have their biggest lead of the game.
Yeah, when, both teams shooting the ball well from beyond the arc so far. Good signs for both teams.
So the Dolphins now on an 8-0 run. As that ball is worked inside, it's going to be off Ba, and it'll be Dolphin basketball. 2 turnovers in a row for Brooklyn College. And Brooklyn's going to take a timeout here.
And I'll tell you what, Mike, Jade Spencer is sending a message to the Brooklyn College Bulldogs. Ever since he came into the game, Brooklyn has made it a point to attack Spencer. And I guess what, Mike? Nothing is doing Spencer's way. He's been dynamite defensively. Still early. He's going to have to play some more minutes. We'll see if the Bulldogs keep attacking him. But, man, he's been up to the task.
Yeah, and, the Dolphins are going to look for big minutes out of Jade Spencer here in this first half as Rob Rossiter to the bench with 2 early personals, but Dolphins getting very balanced scoring, Dave. All 5 players out on the floor have scored at least 1 basket.
Yeah, and their shot selection has been good too, Mike. They haven't been out of control. They haven't been, lazy with their passing. They haven't insisted on taking a long-range shot, so they've been good. As you can see, the 3-point numbers. This is what helped the Dolphins during the regular season against Brooklyn. 40% from 3-point range against Brooklyn. Brooklyn only 26% this season against the Dolphins.
Brooklyn College coming into the game with just 3 wins on the road this year. Dolphins struggling a little bit at home this year. Taylor with the basketball. Backs the ball out now with 15 to shoot. It's Bracic. Taylor and Bracic passing the ball out beyond the 3-point line. Now Bracic working the ball over in the corner. The mid-range jumper is up, no good.
Foul.
Spencer there to grab the rebound, but nothing called on the play as the ball's worked inside to Ba. It's going to be knocked out of bounds, but it'll remain Bulldog basketball.
I'll tell you, Mike, we've seen a couple of fouls where guys have just had their hand lazily on someone's back. That time, Spencer definitely drew contact inside the arc and nothing called.
So the Bulldogs will inbound the basketball. The Dolphins in the middle of an 8-0 run here. As Brooklyn looking to inbound the basketball, and they get it in just before the 5 seconds. Cofino, floater in the lane is up, no good. Three Bulldogs surround the ball and come away with it. Ultimately is Batash. Batash working the ball up over to Tesario. Now it's inside to Ba. The ball knocked away. Plays roll to the floor. And we're going to have a kick ball call. Boy, oh boy, Dave. Not sure about that one.
I mean, that's like 3 players on the floor all jockeying for a position, and somehow there's a kick ball out of that. They'll put the shot clock over to 20. I guess, Mike, if a foot hit it, it is a kick ball. But both these teams really getting on the floor. Remember, Mike, the little things in this game, that's going to be really important.
So the ball is worked over now as the ball comes over to Batash. They work it inside, and that play by Grant is knocked away nicely, but Brooklyn able to maintain possession of the basketball. Grant feeding the ball inside now to Cofino. Brooklyn with 3 to shoot. The long three-pointer is no good. Savage there to grab the rebound for the Dolphins.
It's the most animated we've seen this crowd, Mike, behind us too.
Taylor, free throw jumper is good. Dolphins continue their run, Dave. It's now 10-0.
And every time Ben Batash touches the ball for Brooklyn, the CSI faithful behind us really getting on him, just screaming to him to shoot the ball.
As taking the ball to the basket that time is Cofino. Nice answer that time by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Niv Confino not afraid to penetrate that hole and get to the rim. Nice job by Niv Confino to end that drought.
Taylor kicking the ball out over to Savage. His long three-pointer is in and out, but Taylor goes up for the rebound. That baseline jumper is up, no good. And this time Greg comes away with the rebound for the Bulldogs.
And that is not Taylor's specialty, the baseline jumper. We haven't seen a lot of that from him this season.
Tesario with the basket. His floater in the lane is good. Nice over-the-shoulder shot. Nice schoolyard shot that time, Dave, by Tesario.
Yeah, he had Jade Spencer bearing down on him, was able to put it over a big-time swat attempt by the sophomore.
16-14, the Bulldogs cut the Dolphin lead back down to 2. Spencer on the baseline gets it over to Bracic. He takes the three-pointer and buries it.
Yeah, Mike, every time CSI goes up against the zone, this time Brooklyn with a 2-3 zone, they're able to find the open look on the arc and able to drill it was Bracic, his second 3 of the game.
Brooklyn with the basketball now as it's Cofino. Nice lob inside and laying it up and in his body. Nice play that time by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, this Alpha Ba is going to be a special player too. As soon as he puts a little bit more meat on his bones, Mike, you know, he's got a good delivery to the hoop.
Savage with the basketball out by the three-point line. Now it's Taylor. Taylor tries to feed it inside. It'll be off the hands of Latunji, and this time the Dolphins turn the ball over. Cofino looking to drive inside, and Spencer once again knocks it away. His second block of the evening, Dave.
Spencer's been killing Brooklyn on the inside. He's going to come off. He's earned that rest, Mike, as we have the replay here.
Nice block that time by Spencer as you see his first block here earlier. So the Dolphins now with a 3-point lead. Brooklyn inbounding the basketball. Noah Shy into the game for the Bulldogs is driving down the lane and laying it up and in is Batash, and he draws the foul.
Yep, and that meant a lot to Ben Batash. This crowd has been drilling him every time he's had the basketball in his hands, and now he's going to get a chance for a 3-point play and a chance to tie the game.
And that's going to be the second personal on Latunji. So now Latunji and Rossiter with both 2 fouls, Dave, not even midway through the first half. And Latunji's probably going to have to go to the bench for the rest of the half. So 6 team fouls on the Dolphins.
Yeah, so Rigo Destime is in the game for the Dolphins. Stephen Flagg, who came out, comes immediately back in. Latunji out.
Yeah, so Spencer comes to the bench. Flagg comes in as Bracic's able to post up inside and back that one in over to Tesario.
Yeah, Tesario only 5'7", Mike. Bracic recognized the mismatch, posted him up on the inside, was able to kiss it off the glass.
21-19 now. The Dolphins lead by 2 and find themselves in foul trouble here midway through the first half. Schulman with the basketball. Schulman looking to hand the ball off. They work the ball over in the corner. The open three-pointer by Batash is up no good. And now it's Taylor with the ball for the Dolphins. Taylor driving the ball inside, and we're going to have a whistle, and this time it'll be a blocking foul on the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's a good call too, Mike. You have Tesario immediately backpedaling, trying to absorb Christian Taylor. Only the second team foul for Brooklyn here in this first half.
We have an opportunity to take a look at the replay of Batash driving to the basket and back to live action, and Taylor able to bank it up and in. And Taylor's kind of sensing he needs to be a big part of the offense here, Dave. He's got 8.
Well, yep, he's got 8. Bracic with the other 8 for the Dolphins to lead the team.
Batash with the basketball. Now it's Henry O'Reilly. O'Reilly over to Shy. Shy working the ball back up over to Schulman. Will hand the ball off to Tesario. The long three-pointer is no good. The long rebound grabbed by Taylor.
CSI with a nice chance here to improve their lead, Mike, for the first time to 6.
Desteem, his open jumper is good, and that's the first game I can remember in a while, Dave, where Rigo came out, hit his first shot off the bench.
That's big for the young man's confidence. Freshman playing in the game here, big playoff game, first of his career.
Dolphins open their lead back up to 6. That matches their biggest lead as Batash working the ball across now to Schulman. Schulman has the ball knocked away. Brooklyn able to recover as the Dolphins not able to grab the rebound. Schulman puts it back up, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on the Dolphins.
Yeah, so now a chance for Schulman, who's been pretty unsure of himself with the basketball in his hands so far in the early going. 6'5" junior. Brooklyn getting a chance to get some free ones, Mike, at the line, something we haven't seen CSI been able to do yet in this first half.
Schulman 8 of 14 coming into the game. That's 57%. He misses the first. He'll have one more upcoming, and that's good. So it's a 25-20 lead. You see the free throw shooting on your scoreboard. Brooklyn now 2 of 4. Taylor bringing the ball up across the midcourt line now for the Dolphins. Bounce pass over to Flagg. Flagg looking to explode inside. His shot is up, no good. Good defense that time by the Bulldogs, and Brooklyn comes looking to break as Batash goes flying down the lane and gets called for the offensive foul.
Yeah, and that time, that's where Brooklyn really is at their best, Mike, in transition, really pushing the play up the floor, and that time it worked against them as Ben Batash gets his first personal foul called against him so far. The Dolphins now with a chance to improve on a 5-point lead.
7:45 remaining here in the first half as it's Taylor with the basketball out by the three-point line, guarded there by Shy. Taylor looking to work inside. Now he gets it over to Desteem, but he gets called for the travel.
Yeah, Rigo loves that move, Mike, right at the top of the arc, penetrating inside, and it's about 50-50 getting called for a travel or not. That time he got whistled, and the Dolphins with a turnover of their own to combat Brooklyn's.
Schulman handing the ball off to O'Reilly. Now Schulman puts up the long three-pointer, and that's good.
Yeah, it's a big basket for Brooklyn, Mike. Down by 5, a chance for CSI to improve it. They get a turnover instead and respond with a 3. That's a big dagger.
25-23 the score is Taylor nearly not looking for that pass, but able to recover. He works his way inside. That shot is up, no good. And here comes Brooklyn looking to run as they work the ball up over to O'Reilly. O'Reilly working the ball in the corner now as Brooklyn looks to reset the offense now with Tesario. Now it's Shy. Shy driving inside. His shot is partially knocked away, and now it's Flagg with the basketball for the Dolphins. Stevens still looking for his first basket of the afternoon. That shot is knocked away. Flagg able to recover. Back up to Bracic. His long three-pointer is no good.
Oh, that would have been a big one for Ed and Bracic. He wanted it. Didn't miss it by much.
Brooklyn comes right back with a three-pointer of their own as Batash buries it, and Brooklyn retakes the 1-point lead now, 26-25.
Yeah, and TJ Tibbs asking Christian Taylor to slow it down just a little bit. Get back to basics here. Brooklyn on a 6-0 run.
Savage with the basketball. Now it's Bracic. Bracic kicks it back out over to Flagg. Flagg looking to drive inside. Instead, he loses possession of the ball, and Taylor is able to pick up the basketball.
Yeah, definitely a foul on Noah Shy. Sorry, Mike.
And so Shy draws the foul. That'll be the 4th foul on the Bulldogs. So the Dolphins will get to inbound the basketball with 20 seconds on the shot clock. So Dolphins have led by as many as 6 in this one, Dave. Brooklyn College now regains the 1-point lead.
Yeah, with a chance, Mike, to improve that lead on a couple of occasions and couldn't because of turnovers, and that allowed Brooklyn to creep back. It's been a great start for both of these teams. Great action both ways.
Taylor with the basketball, and he throws the ball away, and here comes Brooklyn with the turnover. They get it ahead to Batash, who lays it up and in. So the Brooklyn College run continues, and that's going to force T.J. Tibbs to take a 30-second timeout, Dave. So Dolphins now find themselves down by 3.
Yeah, and Mike, it's been the turnovers that have really bothered the Dolphins these last few trips, Mike. Ever since the score was 25-19, I believe it was 25-19 at one point, the Dolphins, I don't even think, have taken a shot. I think they missed one layup by Stephen Flagg. The other possessions have all ended in turnovers. So the Dolphins not necessarily shooting the ball, not well or anything like that. They just haven't been able to take care of it. And Brooklyn, their strength in this game through the first 15 minutes, Mike, has been their ability to generate the fast break and the transition game via Brooklyn CSI turnovers, as you see the numbers on your screen. And T.J. Tibbs wants to settle down the action, force half-court offense for Brooklyn.
Yeah, and Dave, the Dolphins, as you see on your screen, 7 turnovers already in this first half compared to just 5 for Brooklyn College. And Stephen Flagg going to the bench, Dave. No points yet for Stephen. And with Rossiter and Latunji both on the bench with foul trouble and no points out of Flagg, Dolphins struggling a little bit to score.
Yeah, now Spencer, of course, putting one up. A lot of contact, nothing there. And here comes Brooklyn looking to transition.
Brooklyn working the ball out now beyond the three-point line with 20 seconds to shoot. They'll look to set up offensively with Cafino. Cafino looking to work against Spencer. He kicks the ball out. The open three-pointer is good. So Schulman now has hit his last couple of three-pointers, and Brooklyn opens up their biggest lead of the game at 6 points.
Yeah, I want to say it's a 12-0 run. I'm not 100% sure of that.
It's at least 11.
There's another turnover.
And the Dolphins turn it over again. As driving down the lane is Cafino. His layup is up, no good. And then we're going to have a whistle, and about 5 seconds later, a foul called on the play. And that'll be on Savage. So Brooklyn will go to the free throw line.
And, Mike, we mentioned how important it was in the pregame for the Dolphins to own the paint. Well, they're getting outscored in the paint 14-4 here in this first half, and they are down by 6 with a chance here to make it 7 as Batash nails it. This was a 1-and-1 opportunity.
Dolphins led 25-20, Dave, with 7:50 remaining in this first half. Brooklyn College now has scored at least the last 13 points. It might be 14, and Batash has 10 of those points here in this first half for the Bulldogs.
And now this is a big moment of the game for CSI. I believe Brooklyn's on a 14-0 run. It's time for the Dolphins to stop the bleeding.
Taylor working the ball back up over to Desteem, and Desteem hits a big three-pointer for the Dolphins.
Huge three-pointer. And, Mike, we always say in big moments of the game, you need your seniors to step up. You need your upperclassmen. How about that from the freshmen?
Let's see if the Dolphins can get a defensive stop here as it's Batash. Batash driving inside, and Spencer with his 3rd block here in this first half.
Dolphins with 6 blocks altogether in this one, Mike, as they've been dominating in that realm, as now Brooklyn wants to talk things over, and they want a full.
So it'll be a full timeout. Why don't we step aside and take our first break here. 4 minutes, 13 seconds remaining in the first half with the score. Brooklyn College 33, CSI 28. You're watching quarterfinal CUNYAC coverage right here on CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
We're back here at the Tank at the College of Staten Island. Brooklyn College leading by a score of 33-28. And, Dave, we say it all the time. You never know what's going to happen in these one-and-done games. Daniel Schulman averaging 4.3 points a game for Brooklyn College. 2 big three-pointers here in the first half. He has 7 for the Bulldogs. Ben Batosh averaging 12.5 points a game, 11 already. Brooklyn up by 5.
Yeah, and that's the difference. And you look at the Dolphins supporting cast, guys like Stephen Flagg, no points yet.
As that three-pointer by O'Reilly is up no good, but the Dolphins can't grab the rebound. But this time, Destine able to pick up the second Bulldog miss and bring the ball across the midcourt line.
See who wins this timeout, Mike, to see who can get the better possessions together.
Taylor feeding the ball inside to Spencer. Spencer back to Taylor, and he's able to put it up and in. So Taylor leading the Dolphins with 10. Dolphins draw to within 3.
And they made that very tough play look easy, the two of them.
As now getting called for the travel will be Schulman, and now it'll be Dolphin ball off the Brooklyn turnover.
Yeah, so turnovers right now, Mike. We'll get them in a second. But the Dolphins getting the benefits now of one. Let's see if they can make it hurt.
Taylor with the basketball, looking to work against Shy. Taylor's floater in the lane is good, so Taylor hits the last 2 baskets for the Dolphins, and they close to within 1. They were just down by 8.
It's like a heavyweight fight, Mike. Both heavyweights landing some punches here, taking turns, dominating play.
O'Reilly with the basketball, guarded by Destine. He works the ball out now over to Batosh. Batosh looking to work against Bracic, and he banks it up and in. Second time he's done that here tonight. Strong first half for Ben Batosh.
Yeah, absolutely, their leading scorer. And like we said, Mike, when teams need a big lift, they got to go to their big players. Batosh is that player for the Bulldogs.
Taylor looking to work his way inside, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul before the shot. So the Dolphins will get to inbound the basketball now with 20 on the shot clock.
Sorry, Mike, there's the play again by Batosh. Long, sweeping layup going into the paint. Mike, the Dolphins have still not gone to the free throw line in this game. CSI had 5 fouls with about 12 minutes left, and Brooklyn just picked up their 5th. So Brooklyn doing a good job of not allowing CSI to get the free points.
So now it's Flagg looking to inbound the basketball, and he'll lob the ball back out over to Taylor, and the Dolphins will look to set up offensively. Taylor looking to work against the double team. His floater in the lane is up no good, and Ball grabs the rebound for the Bulldogs. Casario whipping the ball around now over to Cafino. Cafino looking to work against Flagg. He takes it right to the basket. That shot is up no good. We're going to have a whistle and a jump ball. And that time, Dave, there were 3 Dolphins around 1 Bulldog. But nice job that time. I think it was Bob to force the jump ball.
Yeah, he just found himself in really good position, was able to just kind of extend and interrupt it. And Stephen Flagg did a nice job of getting some mitts on it and draw the jump.
So the Dolphins down by 3 as they'll walk the ball across the midcourt line with just over 2 minutes remaining here in this first half.
I'll tell you what, though, Ben Batosh from Brooklyn, he's got to be wary, Mike. He's starting now to go after the fans here at CSI a little bit. And number one, you don't want to do that because you don't want to show the fans that they're in your head, and you don't want to cost your team any unnecessary points either with a foul.
That's Flagg bounces his way inside and lays it up and in.
Yeah, and if you're Stephen Flagg, that's what you have to do when you find Niv Confino guarding you. You could see Confino stature-wise just not as big and strong as Stephen Flagg.
Dolphins make it a 1-point game once again as O'Reilly putting up the long shot. That's no good. Taylor grabs the rebound and gets it up over to Bracic. Now Destine with the basketball. Rigo looking to fight his way inside. His floater in the lane is up no good. And the rebound's going to be grabbed, and here comes Batosh with the basketball. Batosh looking to take it coast to coast. Shot's no good, and Destine is there to grab the rebound for the Dolphins. Rigo playing a very strong first half, Dave, for the Dolphins.
Yeah, and getting some really big minutes, Mike. We've seen Rigo stay in for 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, and get a rest, but he's been in for a while now.
Flagg looking to feed the ball inside to Spencer, who's able to lay it up and in.
Yeah, that time he went after Ba. Now we have a whistle, and Brooklyn wants to talk things over. Actually, no, I think we're going to have a warning being issued. Yep. a warning has been, it must have been verbal, Mike, because Rich McAuliffe really wasn't very animated. It might have been someone on the bench, perhaps.
So back and forth, first half here. The Dolphins have led by as many as 6. Brooklyn by as many as 8. And the Dolphins lead by 1 inside of 1 minute remaining here in this first half.
Yeah, 11-2 run for the Dolphins, Mike.
And we're going to have a whistle and a foul on Taylor for the Dolphins.
Mike, you're going to ask TJ the questions, but you might want to see how he feels about a lot of free points here and getting in foul trouble early, a couple of his players, and Dolphins having not gone to the line at all in this first half. Brooklyn, I believe, now 6 of 8.
And, Rob Rossiter on the bench really since the first minute of the game, and Adeola Latunji went to the bench with just over 10 minutes remaining here in the first half, as Brooklyn able to hit a pair of free throws there and retake a 1-point lead.
Yeah, Brooklyn 7 of 9 from the charity stripe. CSI yet to shoot a free throw in this game.
Taylor with the ball now for the Dolphins. Taylor looking to work against the double team. He feeds it up over to Spencer. That long jumper is no good. Not the shot the Dolphins are looking for, Dave.
Nope.
Brooklyn with the basketball as they feed the ball across now over to Batosh as he'll back the ball out now. About a 4-second differential on the shot clock and the game clock. Batosh looking to work against Bracic. Batosh leading all scores with 13. Now it's Tesario. Pass goes across the lane, able to be kept in by Brooklyn. The long floater from the baseline is good, as Bracic puts up that shot at the buzzer, and that's going to be no good. So Brooklyn able to hit the jumper at the baseline, and they will go into the half with a 4-point lead, 40-36.
Yeah, we'll wait for one of our assistant coaches, I think, Mike. I think it'll be Orrin McKay who will come over, and we'll ask we'll have some questions of him if they come over, Mike. We'll give them a few seconds, but both coaches have collected at half court. They want to get the jump ball down. It will be Brooklyn's ball coming out of the half, and BC with a 4-0 lead thanks to a big three-pointer nearly at the buzzer, Mike. But in any event, the Dolphins or Brooklyn doing a good job of really tempering CSI. And Mike, it's been a half of runs back and forth. I mean, and the question remains, can one team make the critical run to kind of put a dagger in the other team for good? Hasn't happened yet. We'll see if it continues to happen now.
Yeah, and Dave, the Dolphins led 36-35.
Guys, get out of there!
With just over a minute to go, and then Brooklyn College was able to run off the last 5 points to go into the half with a 40-36 lead. So we're at halftime now. Why don't we step aside and take a break here, and we'll be back to bring you halftime statistics and get you ready for the start of the second half. The Dolphins trail by 4, 40-36, as you're watching quarterfinal CUNYAC basketball coverage right here on your voice of CSI Sports, CSI Sportsnet, CSIDolphins.com.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. you're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules. You tell me to stay away from drugs. To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Na 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 na, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
A full life, measured in seats, starts with the right ones early on. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Learn how to prevent deaths and injuries by using the right car seat for your child's age and size.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Oh! Checking your fantasy league?
Nah, just my 401k statement.
Nice. Where'd you find the money for that?
I just been saving a little every month.
I can't seem to save anything.
Well, what about all this? What about the money you're spending?
What money? It's gone before I can get my hands on it.
I got a pizza for a Todd.
Hey, can somebody spot me?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
It's 547.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Chipmunks want to remind you, bacteria can hide in food and make you ill.
Wow.
But you can keep bacteria from ruining your day with 4 simple steps. Clean.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Cook. And chill.
We chipmunks are notoriously tidy.
Check your steps. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hart, what's going on? I'm leaving. Why? What did I do? Not enough. You constantly ignore me. You barely eat anything healthy. You're half as active as you used to be. The pressure is just too much. I quit. Okay, I get it. I'll do better. Just, please, don't leave. Okay. But remember, if I go, you go.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
We're back here at halftime where the College of Staten Island finds themselves down by a score of 40-36. Brooklyn College closing out the first half on a 5-0 run to take a 4-point lead going into halftime. And Dave, a lot of things going wrong for the Dolphins in that first half.
Yeah, I think the first thing was the fact that they got in early foul trouble, Mike. It was Rob Rossiter, who we saw nor hide a hair of after about the 17-minute mark. We can get his official minutes played here, Mike. Rossiter had 1 minute played. And then Adeola Latunji, your second leading scorer, he played 14 minutes, but he picked up 2 fouls as well, and that was all she wrote for him. The Dolphins, Mike, they found themselves down by 7, 33-25 in this one, and then they roared back and took the lead. And then, of course, they let the wheels fall off just a little bit. I mean, they were only supposed to be down by 1. A last-second shot, a 3-point shot from the baseline has really been the difference in the scoring here. But the Dolphins, they are being out-rebounded, Mike. They haven't taken care of the basketball. It was the keys that we played into this game. But, Mike, all of that considered, they're one basket away from making this a one-possession game, and it really is anybody's game here with 20 minutes left. But at some point in time, Mike, whether it's in minute 20, whether it's in minute 15, 10, or 5, the Dolphins are going to have to start rebounding the basketball better. They're going to have to start clearing the paint, and they're going to have to protect the basketball. 9 turnovers is an okay number, but when you've only forced 6 the other way, that's a problem.
Yeah, and Dave, you mentioned it earlier as we get a chance to take a look at our halftime statistics. The Dolphins shooting well from the field, Dave, but only got up 31 shots in that first half. Shooting extremely well from the three-point line, 4 of 6. But, you look at that rebounding total, Dave, 23-14, and Dolphins also committing the 9 turnovers you mentioned. And, the Dolphins just not doing enough offensively, Dave. Although they shot well in the first half, Dolphins are allowing 42 points to Brooklyn College. So Dolphins need to play a little bit better defensively and hopefully not find themselves with 5 team fouls in the first 5 minutes like they did in that first half.
Yeah, and the thing that sticks out for me, Mike, too, is that free throw shooting percentage. The Dolphins, they banged on the inside, too, and they didn't really get any calls down low. And, sometimes officials, Mike, at the end of the first half, they come over to half court. They take a little quick look at the stats to see, are things kind of evened up here? And it's not to insinuate that the officials are going to make that a point to look at. But if you're TJ Tibbs, the first thing that you're saying to the officials as they come back out of here into the field is, hey, guys, what gives? Our guys are playing hard on the inside. We're trying to get some, we're definitely getting some contact down low. We haven't gone to the line a single time tonight. And again, that will play a factor. The Dolphins, like you said, Mike, they're shooting the ball really well. And now they have to clean up the other areas. Starts with, of course, being clean with their fouls and not getting into any more foul trouble. And, of course, getting to the free throw line.
And, Dave, as we edge closer to the start of the second half, why don't we take a look at some replays of the first half, Dave?
Yeah, we'll take a look at some replays. Our engineer, Arthur Kapadanak, is doing a great job. This was that Christian Taylor steal and then scoop to the basket. That's a really beautiful play by him. We had Jade Spencer had a big block right there. That's something he did all during the first half. That's one area where the Dolphins truly did, do a better job than Brooklyn in that half. 6 blocks for the Dolphins in total. And you have there the alley-oop alpha ba from Niv Confino. That's been working for Brooklyn. There was that and one, too, by Ben Batosh, Mike. Here's another look at that one as the fans were daring Batosh to get to the hoop. And there's that sweeping layup, and he got the and one on the play. And then he was also took the Bulldogs on their back, and here's another play by Batosh. This is that longer sweeping layup. Great job by Brooklyn. As you could see, that put Brooklyn up by 3 in the later stages. So, Mike, both teams really parrying back and forth. An interesting 20 minutes coming up.
Yeah, and it's 20 minutes that's going to end one of this team's CUNYAC seasons. And, the Dolphins coming in as the defending CUNYAC champions, Dave. They went undefeated in conference play last year before rolling to the conference championship. And, here this year, they've really spent the entire time in a position to win a bye right up until the end of the regular season. But, it could have come down to one basket in that game against Lehman College. And now the Dolphins find themselves 20 minutes away from elimination.
Yeah, and that's the danger, and that's why you always go for one of those 2 seeds in the playoffs so that you can avoid this game completely. But then again, Mike, this is a Dolphins team that has had good second halves against Brooklyn College in the regular season. And you know what? If you're TJ Tibbs, you want to see your team respond in these 20 minutes in order to have a shot at Baruch in the semifinals, because the bottom line is that's going to be a much more difficult test for the Dolphins. And if they can't go up to the task on their home court against the number 6 seed, then they probably don't belong in that semifinal round, Mike. TJ Tibbs knows that, and so he has to have his team prepared to get this one done.
And Dave, as we get ready now for the start of the second half, the Dolphins are going to need much more offensive production from both Latunji, Flagg, and Rossiter here in the second half, Dave.
And Flagg had such a great game against against Brooklyn in that last regular season game. He only has 2 points, but he's only shot the ball twice. Rob Rossiter hasn't done a thing, and that's because he picked up 2 quick fouls. And really, Mike, the Dolphins are getting production from Christian Taylor and Eden Bracic, but they need to find that third and fourth wheel to the car here in this second half.
And Latunji, the Dolphins second team, CUNYAC second team all-star, just 1 of 5 shooting in that first half, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're going to need that to pick up. A lot of those chances were from in close, Mike. You'd like to see that improve.
So it'll be Brooklyn College to inbound the basketball here. As we get ready to start the second half, the Dolphins find themselves trailing by 4. The winner will advance into the semifinals at the Nat Holman Gymnasium this Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. They will play Baruch College. Lehman College will face John Jay. John Jay coming back from a 15-point halftime deficit to beat Hunter College on the road by 11 in the first game here this afternoon at Hunter College. As Rossiter diving for the basketball, and here come the Dolphins 2-on-1 off the turnover as Taylor, not able to hit the shot. Latunji misses the follow, and Brooklyn able to come away with the basketball, and putting up the three-pointer is Batosh. That shot is no good, but Brooklyn able to grab the rebound, and Grant lays it in, and Dave, not a good start for the Dolphins.
No, the right idea, Mike, but not the good start. We talked about winning the paint. The paint is, of course, that deep blue right in the middle of your screen. That's the area of the game where the Dolphins need to be better than Brooklyn, and that time they lost on that possession.
Rossiter with the basketball now feeds it out over to Taylor. Taylor puts up that three-pointer. That's no good. He was shooting just under 46% from the three-point line coming into the game here tonight. Brooklyn College with the basketball is Grant looking to feed the ball inside. A nice spinning move that time by Ba. His shot is up no good, and the Dolphins able to grab the rebound. Latunji driving to the basket. His shot knocked away beautifully by Ba. And here comes Brooklyn College looking to run. Grant puts up the open three-pointer. That's no good. That was a big miss there by Brooklyn, Dave.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Brooklyn's had a chance to really open this game up, and they're leaving that door just a little open. That's an easy one right there. Flagg just gave Niv Confino a forearm. Confino sold it, but he didn't have to. That was a clear offensive foul.
Yeah, he did a really good job of making sure it sold, but Flagg picks up the foul, and the Dolphins turn the ball over, Dave, and the Dolphins who found themselves on the wrong end of a 5-0 run to start the end the first half. Still have not scored through almost 2 minutes here in the second half. Batosh with the basketball. He works it up over to Tesorario. He works the ball up over in the corner now. Driving down the lane and scooping it up and laying it up and in is Cofino. And Dolphins better start playing much better very soon, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. That time that's on Latunji. He just let Confino blow right by him. He was too quick to extend.
Dolphins now down by 8. Rossiter over to Bracic. His long three-pointer is way off, and the ball's going to be knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be Brooklyn College basketball. So Brooklyn continues their run here to start the second half.
Yep, it's been a 4-0 run. Not much of a run, but enough to explode this lead up to 8 points, and Brooklyn with a huge opportunity here.
Batosh with the basketball, working against Bracic. He's done a good job against Bracic. Now Cofino puts up the open three-pointer and buries it, and the Dolphins now find themselves down by 11.
Yeah, that time the Dolphins didn't even cover Confino. They dared him to shoot it. He did, and he made it hurt.
Flag with the basketball. He hands the ball off over to Rossiter. Rossiter puts up the open three-pointer and buries it. That was a huge shot by Rob Rossiter. His second basket of the game.
Yeah, but it only gets the Dolphins to within 8, and TJ Tibbs, in TJ Tibbs fashion, calling a timeout right after a big basket to settle his team down. They're a -8 right now with 17 minutes left. Mike, there is an eternity left in this game. There's no reason to panic, and that's exactly what TJ Tibbs is telling his 5 guys right now. Look, there's a lot of time left. There's just a couple of possessions here to get yourselves back into it, but it starts on the defensive side of the ball, Mike. Niv Confino has hit the last 2 baskets for Brooklyn, and Mike, both of them were uncontested.
Yeah, and Dave, that's the first basket of the second half for the Dolphins, and if there's been one thing that the Dolphins have struggled with, it has been offense, especially in the latter stages of the second half. And, here to start this second half, they had an opportunity to get a basket, and Latunji had an opportunity at a big jam that really could have gotten the crowd into it. Instead, he misses it, a couple of Dolphin turnovers, and a couple of big shots by Brooklyn College. Cofino now with 9 points in the game, and Dolphins find themselves down by 8.
Yep, and the Dolphins, of course, not shy about unleashing the 3 here in this first half. Second half, they only took 6 3-pointers in the first, and they're on pace for that here in the second. That time a big make, though, by Rossiter.
So the defending CUNYAC champion CSI Dolphins find themselves down by 8 points as it's Grant with the basketball, working the ball up over to Batosh. Batosh looking to work against Bracic, and that shot is knocked away. Fight for the rebound. Ba able to grab it, feed it back to Cofino. That shot is up, no good. But Brooklyn able to grab another rebound, and they've really been killing the Dolphins on the glass, Dave.
And again, Mike, it's all about winning the paint. There's just too many maroon jerseys in the paint after the shot is put up.
Cofino working it in the corner for a wide open three-pointer and 3 opportunities. Brooklyn able to bury the three-pointer.
Yep, Dolphins hit a 3. Brooklyn answers with a 3 on their third opportunity of that possession.
And now the Dolphins turn the ball over once again as it's Batosh taking it from coast to coast. That ball's going to be knocked out of bounds, but it'll be Brooklyn College basketball 4 minutes into the second half, Dave. And if you only score once, it makes it very tough to compete.
Yeah, and that time, again, Adiola got a little bit of a bump, and that's how he turned the ball over. You don't expect a foul there. I'm not calling for one, but just a little bit of an interruption on his dribble, and he's turned the ball over.
Cofino looking to work it in the corner, and instead it's going to be a turnover, and now it's Flag with the basketball for the Dolphins. Flag over to Taylor, and his floater is up and in, and he's really been the majority of the Dolphin offense today, Dave.
Yeah, and you see how deep he got on that last possession, Mike. They're going to make it a point to get Christian Taylor in low.
As now Brooklyn nearly turns it over, but it'll be last touch by the Dolphins, so it'll remain Bulldog basketball with 19 to shoot.
And it's Adiola Latunji out, Mike, and Savage in, as you see the line on Taylor with 14 points to lead the way for CSI. There's a big substitution, Mike. You take one of your premier scorers out of the game in favor of a smaller 3-point perimeter player in Ray Savage.
Yeah, Latunji going to the bench with just 2 points here. And he had a couple of big games down the stretch, and a player the Dolphins really need to compete offensively. Plus, Dave, you don't really expect the Dolphins to allow as much points on the defensive end as they've allowed so far here tonight. Bob with the basketball, backing in against Rossiter, and his shot is up and in.
And again, with Rob Rossiter with 2 fouls, had to be a little lenient on the defense.
Rossiter, now it's Flagg with the basketball, feeds it up over to Taylor. Taylor in the corner to Savage, and his three-pointer is up no good, and Brooklyn College with the rebound.
A chance to insert a dagger here if you're Brooklyn.
Long three-pointer is up no good, and Savage able to get the rebound for the Dolphins. Savage, now Brocic in the corner to Rossiter. Now Brocic with the basketball. And Flagg will look to set up offensively. Dolphins find themselves down by 11. The open three-pointer by Brocic is no good, and it'll be Brooklyn basketball. So Dolphins' offensive struggles continue here in the second half.
Yeah, and it's been their insistence on the three, Mike, I think that has really doomed them so far here in this second half. The Dolphins shot only 6 3-pointers in the first half. They've already shot 5 in the first 5 minutes of this second half.
Confino with the basketball. Now it's Grant. Grant looking to work against Flagg. Grant spinning his way inside. That shot is up no good. And Flagg there to grab the rebound for the Dolphins. Flagg bounces the ball around and turns the ball over. His 4th turnover of the game is Confino. Drives down the lane but misses the layup. Flagg, cross-court pass. And the Dolphins able to retrieve. It's Taylor. Now Flagg puts up the three-pointer, and that's good. Big three-pointer by Flagg. Only his second basket of the afternoon.
Yeah, and that's coming off a possession where he turned the ball over, Mike. You know he wanted something out of that, and he got it. Nice job. And the Dolphins, again, continuing to stick around here, Mike, after multiple possessions where Brooklyn could have inserted a dagger.
And we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on the Dolphins.
I mean, come on. If you can't play defense that way, you just can't play defense. I mean, Ray Savage didn't even move. He just held his ground and put his hands up in the air. He got called for a foul. I understand he's underneath the arc, but
Yeah, Dolphins trying to work their way back in with some momentum. Instead, Brooklyn with another opportunity at the free throw line. That's their 10th free throw of the afternoon, Dave. Dolphins still looking to go to the line for the first time here tonight.
Yeah, and listen, both teams are banging underneath. Don't let it fool you. I mean, both teams, it's been a physical game. There's been a lot of action underneath the hoop. But the Dolphins haven't been able to get to the line once in this game. And Brooklyn's about ready to shoot their 11th free throw of the afternoon.
So Batosh, one more free throw upcoming here for the senior. His second free throw is up and no good, and a fight for the rebound. And Flagg able to grab it and get the ball out over the Savages. Bodies flying all over the place here at the tank. Flagg over in the corner to Latunji. His jumper is up no good, but he's able to force the offensive rebound, and a rare offensive rebound, Dave, for the Dolphins.
Yeah, but as soon as he shot that, Mike, he went straight for the rebound, did Latunji. So a nice job there. Second effort, got them the second possession.
Taylor, cross-court pass over to Flagg, and we're going to have a whistle and an offensive foul called on Jade Spencer.
You know, Mike, I don't unlike the call. I mean, you know, it's okay, but it has to go both sides, Mike. You know, the first half of this game started, CSI had 5 fouls, Brooklyn had 0. Second half, CSI 3 fouls, Brooklyn 0. And it's been physical both ways. Don't let it fool you.
So now it's Brooklyn College with the basketball as Shy drives to the basket. That's no good, and here comes Taylor with the basketball for the Dolphins. Taylor looking to run inside, and he's going to turn the ball over, and Dolphins making those big turnovers, Dave.
You know, again, debilitating, especially when you can't rebound from it. It's just not on.
So Confino bringing the ball across the midcourt line now. As the clock continues to wind down, as Confino puts up that three-pointer, it's no good. And Taylor grabs the rebound for the Dolphins. Latunji. Now it's Flagg with the basketball. Now Taylor feeding it inside to Latunji, who drives to the basket, and Dolphins will go to the line for the first time tonight.
And Mike, I know we're the home broadcast, but finally a call underneath that goes the Dolphins' way. I mean, they've been on the wrong end of that all evening long, and finally the Dolphins are at the free throw line after attacking the rim.
So Alpha Bao will pick up the foul. That will be his second. Latunji will go to the line. 2 big free throws for the Dolphins.
And Adiola is a very good free throw shooter, Mike. He's hit them in bunches. He's 74% for the season.
One more free throw upcoming. And Latunji hits them both. And the Dolphins cut the lead down to 6.
And Brooklyn has left that door swinging open, Mike, for the Dolphins to come through. And let's see if it ends up burning them. Brooklyn now needs a basket, Mike, as they've been hung up on 52 for a while now.
Let's see if the Dolphins can get another defensive stop as it's Ba working it up over to O'Reilly. O'Reilly feeding it in the corner to Shai. Shai drives down the lane.
Oh, my goodness, what a terrible call.
And a whistle and a foul on the play. And boy, oh boy, another opportunity for Brooklyn College to go to the line for free throws.
These officials are really ruining the game here underneath. I mean, they're all going one-sided at this point.
So Shai will go to the line to shoot 2. So Dolphins looking for a defensive stop, but instead Shai goes to the line and hits the first. He'll have one more upcoming for the Bulldogs.
So Shai's original shot was blocked from behind by Jade Spencer, and the foul went against Ray Savage.
53% free throw shooter was Shai. He splits the pair. Now Latunji. Latunji drives down the lane. His floater is up, no good. Taylor grabs the rebound and puts it back up and in. Dolphins continue to work their way back. The lead down to 5.
Chipping away, chipping away. Let's see if the Dolphins can get a stop. It's a big trip down the floor for Brooklyn.
Batosh with the basketball. Batosh picks up his dribble. Now Tessario. Working the ball out over in the corner now to O'Reilly. O'Reilly looking to work against Savage. Picks up his dribble now. 7 seconds to shoot. Ball fed inside to Ba, who lays it up and in. That's a pretty move by the freshman.
Yeah, nice play all around by the Bulldogs there, fighting in open space. A little bit of positioning on Taylor allowed them to get the pass.
Savage, the quick three-pointer is good.
Ice in his veins. Ray Savage hasn't played a lot here in this game. He's getting big minutes with Rossiter on the bench.
Dolphins continue to whittle away, and they have now cut the lead down to 4. 10 minutes, 50 seconds remaining. As Brooklyn College with the basketball, Batosh driving down the lane. His shot is knocked away beautifully by Spencer. Spencer has 6 blocks in this game. If you look at the three-point shooting on your screen, Dolphins 7 of 13, Brooklyn 7 of 17. It'll be Bulldog basketball, 11 to shoot.
Yeah, Jade Spencer's been dominating defensively.
O'Reilly with the basketball, and he hits the big jumper.
Nice job by O'Reilly right over the outstretched hands of Ray Savage. Puts Brooklyn back up by 6. And now they've hit a couple of big baskets.
Savage with the basketball. Now it's Spencer in the corner. Now it's out to Flag. Flag up. Terrible pass, and it's going to be a turnover for the Dolphins.
Tesserero knew where it was going right away. Mike, all he had to do was put up his hands.
Tesserero driving it down the lane and laying it up and in. So not only does he steal the ball, Dave, he drives it right through the heart of the Dolphin defense.
Yeah, and if you're Stephen Flagg, he's probably going to get taken out of the game here, but your pass has got to be crisper than that.
Brooklyn College on a 4 run to make the lead 8, and Savage comes back with a three-pointer of our own to make it a 5-point game, and it's going to be a timeout. It's going to be a full timeout. We're going to step aside and take a break as you see that beautiful block there by Jade Spencer. Dolphins find themselves trailing 59-54, 9:57 remaining. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back.
One-on-One is an independently owned and operated physical therapy center since 1999.
One-on-One has multiple offices located in Staten Island and in Brooklyn.
One-on-One has been getting people back to living pain-free for almost 14 years.
The number one goal of One-on-One is to provide quality health care for our community and continue to strive to be the best in our field.
One-on-One physical therapy gets our clients back to work, back to play, and back to function as soon as possible. We help them reclaim their life.
We're back with 9:57 remaining. The Dolphins find themselves trailing by 5. And, you know, Dave, we haven't spoken about it, but we definitely should spend a minute or two talking about this CSI women's basketball team that is going to make it into the semifinals. They'll play in the second game this Wednesday night as they await the winner of tomorrow's Lehman-Baruch game. But what a fabulous year by the CSI Dolphins, as you see the postseason schedule up on your screen, led obviously by 2 year in a row CUNYAC Player of the Year, Christina Passatoro.
Yeah, they'll await who they believe they'll be playing by tomorrow afternoon. They'll know who exactly that opponent will be. They'll get to work and practice Monday, Tuesday, and then they'll be on the floor at CCNY to play their semifinal.
Shai puts up a shot and misses, and the Dolphins have the basketball down by just 5. Brocic thought about the 3. Now works it over to Latunji, who feeds it to Spencer, who lays it up and in. It's now a one-possession game.
Big unselfish possession there by the Dolphins. They had a couple of different players who could have shot that one. Instead, they opted for the open look, and Spencer made it hurt.
Dolphins were down by as many as 11 here in the second half. They've cut it down to 3, but what a response by Ben Bataj.
And I got to be honest, Baruch is hitting every answering shot right now, every big one, and it's not for lack of defense. The Dolphins are getting some hands in the face, but Brooklyn's making all the big shots.
62-56, big basket by Bataj. He has 16. Latunji driving inside, and this time we're going to have a whistle and a foul called on Brooklyn that should send Latunji to the line to shoot 2.
2 shots for Latunji. He's 2 for 2 from the free throw line tonight. Hasn't had a particularly good night from the floor, but this is where he can really shine, Mike, because he is an exceptional free throw shooter, and he's got a lot of points this season from this charity stripe because he is able to go to the hole.
As his first free throw is up and in, he's 3 for 3 from the line here tonight.
And if you're the Dolphins, you love this because the clock is stopped. You see it on your screen, 8:46. Still plenty of time, but you like being able to score points with the clock not running.
One more free throw coming up here for Latunji. His second is up and in, so he hits them both. 4 big ones here in this second half for Latunji. And the Dolphins trail now by 4.
The Dolphins could use a stop here now. Brooklyn's been able to answer on a couple of trips down the floor. Nothing easy here.
Grant with the basketball now. Bataj feeds it inside the bar. Nice looking play by Brooklyn, but not good interior defense by the Dolphins.
No, exactly right. We said nothing easy, and that was as easy as it gets.
Brocic looked to feed the ball inside. Dolphins fortunate to keep possession with 21 on the shot clock.
The Dolphins wanted a kickball on that. They didn't get it, but they will have possession, so that's good for them. Possession arrow is with CSI, too, so that's something to keep your eye on as well.
Over into Savage in the corner, and his shot is up, no good, but Latunji able to keep it alive, and Taylor able to come away with the rebound.
Yeah, Latunji might not have his shot, Mike, but he's making things happen.
Taylor driving down the lane. That shot's no good, but the Dolphins get their third opportunity. The open jumper by Latunji is good, and boy, the Dolphins need him making shots.
He's got such a sweet and easy shot, Mike, that every time he lifts it up, it looks like it takes an eternity to get down, but a nice shot there by Adiola.
4-point game as we get into crunch time here in this second half, as we're going to have a travel on Brooklyn.
That was an offensive foul, Mike, actually,
wow.
on the screen by Grant. And again, that was very similar to the foul that they called against Jade Spencer earlier. Again, you know, it could go either way. You don't mind seeing it, but if you are going to see that foul, you got to see it on both sides, and that time Grant was guilty.
So Grant picks up the foul, his first, team's third. Dolphins with the basketball and a chance to make it a one-possession game once again. Latunji hands off to Savage. Savage, beautiful feed inside to Latunji. His shot is up, no good, but he'll draw the foul, and he'll go to the line for the third time in the last couple of minutes, Dave.
And I'll tell you what, Mike, Adiola Latunji, this is his first year playing. He had a pretty miserable first half, Mike, but to have enough confidence in yourself to do what he's doing in this second half speaks volumes about this young man. He's not afraid to go to the hole, not afraid to get to the line. Made a big jumper earlier, and You know, he does miss this free throw. He's angry at himself, but he's making things happen here in this second half.
So one more free throw coming up here for Adiola with 7:29 remaining here in the second half. The winner goes on to play Baruch this Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Dolphins looking to defend their CUNYAC championship, down a possession, 64-61, 7:20 remaining here in the second half. Confino with the basketball. He's had a couple of big shots here in the second half. Desario hands off to Batash with 10 seconds to shoot. Batash driving inside. His shot is knocked away. Taylor able to grab the rebound. Latunji to the basket, and he lays it up and in.
That time the Dolphins working best in transition after a big miss and a contested shot.
And driving to the basket and getting called for the travel is going to be Confino. So the Dolphins now with the basketball and an opportunity to retake the lead as we have an opportunity to take a look.
Yeah, this is Latunji coast to coast. First comes the big defensive play. As you see, Brooklyn very deliberate. They attack the paint. They're looking to win that battle, and this will end up going the other way. Take a look.
Nice block. Another block by Spencer, Dave. I believe that's his 7th. And then you see the nice move by Latunji. He has 11, Dave, 9 here in the second half, and most of those 9 in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, and again, it just speaks to his confidence and his ability to shake off a tough start. You know, and again, Mike, a lot of this happening with Rob Rossiter on the bench. This is a guy, Rob Rossiter, who's 3rd on the team in scoring. He's got 9.2 points, and take a look at that block again. I mean, Jade Spencer have just been a demon inside the paint for the Dolphins, and for Brooklyn, they can win or lose, they're going to be happy not to have to see Jade Spencer anymore.
Dolphins in the middle of a 22-8 run to cut an 11-point deficit down to 1 with 6 minutes and 38 seconds remaining here in the second half.
Dolphins get a basket here, Mike. You're going to hear this place go nuts.
Bracic with the basketball. Now it's Taylor. 8 seconds to shoot. Savage puts up the 3. That's no good. Bracic, his shot is blocked away beautifully by Ba. So Bracic able to grab the rebound. Good defensive play by the Bulldogs. Confino with the basketball. Confino looking to feed it inside. Instead, Savage comes away with the turnover. But he turns the ball right back over. Ba with his 2nd consecutive turnover. Confino will back the ball out. So the Dolphins had a couple of opportunities, Dave. Couldn't get the ball to the rim.
Yeah, turnovers have been a problem today for the Dolphins, Mike. Brooklyn's been giving the ball up a ton here in these last couple of minutes, but if you're CSI, you got to take care of the basketball down by 1.
Inside at 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Once again, Brooklyn winding it down as Serio working the ball out. That open three-pointer is no good, and that'll be a 30-second shot clock violation. So it'll be Dolphins basketball. 3rd opportunity, Dave, to retake the lead.
Yeah, and this is it. This is a big, big possession now. You're coming inside of 6 minutes to play. You know, these are the championship possessions, as former coach Tony Petoza used to say. These are the championship minutes. You win these minutes, you win the game almost 90% of the time.
Taylor with the basketball now as the Dolphins now winding down shot clock. 10 seconds to shoot. Taylor, pull-up jumper is good, and the Dolphins come all the way back to retake the lead, 65-54.
Down by as many as 11 in this half, Mike. They've been able to come back.
Desario with the basketball inside of 5 minutes to go. He looks to drive his way inside. Hounded there by Taylor. He backs his way out. He feeds the ball out. Batash, the open three-pointer is no good. Latunji grabs the rebound for the Dolphins.
Yeah, and he wants to slow it down. You can see the CSI coaches saying, slow down, get your shot. Dolphins have been much better in the half-court offense in this half than Brooklyn has.
Taylor handing the ball off to Savage. Now Latunji, bounce pass it to Spencer. Dolphins working the shot clock down inside of 5 seconds. Latunji looking to work against a double team. Back up to Taylor. His off-balance shot is no good, and this time it'll be the Dolphins that have the 30-second shot clock violation.
Credit Brooklyn. Great defense by the Bulldogs on that last possession. They dared the Dolphins, hey, you want to play in the half court? We're going to contest everything. And you look at the turnovers, Mike, CSI a -6 in the game.
Yeah, 17 big turnovers. That's the biggest one so far, as it's Grant with the basketball. Now Ba out by the three-point line. And now Tesario. The long three-pointer is good.
So
big three-pointer there by Brooklyn College.
And that's going to come with a timeout. I believe that was called by Brooklyn. So that's going to be a full timeout, Mike.
So a big basket there for Brooklyn College. Why don't we step aside and take a break? 3 minutes, 53 seconds remaining. Dolphins down by 2. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll be right back.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
We're back with 3 minutes and 53 seconds remaining here in the second half. And Dave, the Dolphins found themselves down by 11, 52-41. They were able to go on a 22-8 run to take a 1-point lead. But here you see the big three-pointer to give Brooklyn the lead once again.
Yeah, that's a big-time job by Tesario. You could see Christian Taylor on the play looking to kind of absorb the screen. Instead, Tesario said, okay, if you're going to go to the right, I'm going to spot up here for 3, and he made it hurt. And I got to give Brooklyn a lot of credit, Mike, as good as CSI has been in some moments, Brooklyn has had a good answer for just about every opportunity the Dolphins have had.
So it's Dolphin basketball now down by 2. Bracich working his way inside, and you can hear the slap from here. And it'll be a foul, and that'll be a possession for the Dolphins. So the possession clock will go back to 20 as the Dolphins find themselves down by 2.
So they earn an extra 2 seconds on the shot clock here to work in the half court.
Bracich looking for somewhere to go with the basketball. It's Taylor. Taylor's jumper is good. A couple of big baskets for Taylor, Dave. He has 20.
Yeah, that was a real contested shot. Again, Taylor gets a good look from above everyone when he extends. And this is it, Mike, 0-0 with 3.5 minutes left.
Tofino with the basketball. He hit that last shot attempt, and that's going to be no good. And Spencer with the rebound. And the Dolphins with the basketball and a chance to take the lead. Bracich, the open 3, no good.
Oh, man. Could really use that one.
Rebound by Tesario. Headed towards 3 minutes remaining. Tesario with the last big three-pointer for the Bulldogs. Now it's Ba.
It's a walk.
Spinning inside and gets called for the travel. Big turnover that time for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that time Ba looked like he slipped a little bit as well, Mike, when he tried to pivot on that right foot. But again, Dolphins with a second opportunity here to take the lead in a tie ball game, as now we're under 3 minutes. You could see how quickly the time diminishes when you've reached this point of the game.
The Bulldogs have done a nice job not turning the ball over all season long. A big one there. Savage with the basketball now. 12 seconds to shoot. Latunji looking to work it in the corner. It's going to go out of bounds. It'll remain Dolphin basketball. 8 seconds to shoot. 2:35 remaining in the second half.
And this is what the Dolphins have to be conscious of, because Brooklyn has done very well on the perimeter here, so you've got to get a shot up, a good shot up, with 8 seconds here to go. And this hasn't been CSI's strength, their inbounds play.
Bracich gets it over to Latunji. Now it's Taylor with the basketball. He's hit the big shots. He misses that one, but Spencer grabs the rebound. His putback is up, no good. A lot of contact, nothing called inside.
Well, just never know what you're going to get, Mike, when you go on the inside. You can get a quick whistle for almost next to nothing, or you can get nothing at all.
As that ball worked inside, and the layup is up and in by Batash, and Brooklyn retakes a 2-point lead.
Yep, Dolphins have had their chances. Now they have to try and tie.
Dolphins down by 2. Savage out by the three-point line. Latunji, that jumper, that's up no good. A fight inside for the rebound. And Grant able to come away with the basketball. Now Brooklyn looking for the dagger, and that's up no good. And we're going to have
Double
a whistle
foul.
and a double foul called on the play. And boy, oh boy, Dave, I don't know about that one.
2 kids going for the ball in a big game. Double foul? Gee whiz. Gee whiz.
Somebody's got to either initiate the contact.
I know. There's a reason why they're on the floor. It's weird. Maybe, we're going to get another look. Yeah, you could see.
It looks clearly like a foul on Bob from here, but the Dolphins will inbound the basketball now, down by 2, a minute 47 remaining.
And CSI is in the bonus here, so any foul will put them to the line. The Dolphins still have a foul to give.
Savage with the basketball now, hands the ball off to Bracic. Bracic feeding it inside to Taylor. His floater in the lane is good. He's hit every big basket down the stretch in the last couple of minutes, Dave, for the Dolphins.
You get the sense of where they're going to go with the basketball, Mike.
69-69 to score as you see Taylor with that off-balance jumper.
This is all that work by Spencer. We'll see if there's contact. I don't think there was any there. Good call. And now, oh my gosh, is there contact or no?
Rebound and got clubbed in the head.
Absolutely mauled him underneath. Mauled him.
So the Dolphins have come back to tie. Brooklyn College with the basketball. And, Dave, we've talked all year long about defense. Well, now's the time to play defense.
Yeah, absolutely. You just need it. It's like I said, it's a 0-0 game. Now there's just 93 seconds left to play. So it all comes down to whoever is smart with the basketball, maybe with a second chance via an offensive rebound. This is where the little things matter.
So 69-69 to score. Christian Taylor, 22 points. Their first team CUNYAC All-Star coming up big here tonight, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. And we say it all the time. We sound like a broken record. In big games, your big players have to play big. And Christian Taylor's just played big. He's put this team on his back in certain stretches. Defensively, he's been very good. He's been smart, 22 points. And on the flip side, Mike, Ben Batosh has been really good for Brooklyn here. Tesserero's been good. Al-Fraba's been good.
Dolphins won both games in the regular season. 69-69 to score here as Brooklyn College brings the ball up across the midcourt line and will look to set up offensively with 20 seconds remaining here on the shot clock. Serio with the basketball guarded by Taylor. They run the shot clock down to 10. He drives inside, kicks the ball up over to Grant.
You hate it. You hate it, Mike, because
just unbelievable.
It's just not consistent. Jade Spencer gets absolutely hammered underneath. You know what? I don't mind the non-call there. I really don't. But then over here from the back, you get a touch foul. It's just inconsistent. Just inconsistent.
So Grant will go to the free throw line here to shoot 2 for the Bulldogs, and that first one is up and in. And
here it is again. And I'm not saying there's no foul here, but my goodness, if there's a foul there, then you could call 3 fouls on Jade Spencer the opposite way. It was only 25, 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, again, as Grant is able to hit 2 big free throws, and we give Brooklyn College the lead.
Here we go, 1 minute.
So 1 minute remaining, and Taylor with the basketball. If you're the Dolphins, let's see if they can get the ball inside. Savage over now, Latunji working his way up inside, and he lays it up and in.
Oh, dear. Heart attack time, Mike. 55 seconds.
Here we go now as Serio brings the ball up, and they've put the ball in his hands down the stretch, Dave.
And they have to, and I think this is the guy who needs to shoot it is Ben Batosh.
Batosh with the basketball now, 40 seconds remaining.
He's looking for separation. He's looking for a screen.
He pulls up, puts up the three-pointer. It's in and out, but Ba able to grab the rebound. The putback is no good. Dolphins able to grab the rebound. And we're going to have a whistle, and it'll be a jump ball possession, and the ball to Brooklyn. No contact on the play, Dave.
I guess not. I guess Jade Spencer, we got to see another look at that, Arthur, if you get a chance. But again, it looks like Spencer has the rebound in his hands. He's looking for some separation, and you get 4 hands coming in on him.
Yeah, again.
We'll see it from the start.
As we have an opportunity to look at it, and, once again, Brooklyn College able to grab, and, it comes down to Dave Dolphins not able to grab that big rebound cleanly. As you have a look at Batash, he puts up the open three. It goes in and out. By able to grab the rebound. That putback is no good. Spencer grabs the rebound, and, he looks at it, and it's Grant who ties him up. And it was Grant who went to the free throw line just a moment ago that gave Brooklyn College the 2-point lead. Dolphins able to come back, and now it'll be Brooklyn College basketball with the shot clock off.
Yeah, and as Jade Spencer trying to screen out, Alphabet needs to make this shot. He misses it, and Spencer's got the clear rebound. And, Maynard Grant gets his mitts in there, but in a game that has been so touchy-feely with fouls and, Spencer, the foul that he got called on earlier, I mean, it's just been inconsistent. I'm not going to blame the officials either way, no matter who wins this game, because it was consistently inconsistent. But my goodness, here on the last 30 seconds of the game, you do not, if you are in the black and white stripes, you do not want to have a hand in who wins this game. Let them play or call everything. Make a decision, but be consistent here for 28.9 seconds.
So let's see what Brooklyn College has in store here as the shot clock is off and Grant looks to inbound the basketball. And we're going to have a whistle. Boy, oh boy, Dave.
You can't play anymore, Mike.
Boy,
you just can't play. You don't know where the next foul's coming from and who's going to call it and for what purpose. Again, there's contact there, but when has there not been? I just don't get it. It's just no consistency whatsoever.
So it'll be Taylor who picks up the foul, and Brooklyn College able to score down the stretch. A 1-and-1, their last 3 points from the free throw line, Dave.
Yep, and they've been at the free throw line when they've needed it, Mike. They've made their free throws. Good free throw shooting team, and this is when they count the most.
Boy, oh boy, Brooklyn College's last 4 points in the last minute coming from the free throw line. What a joke this official is, who running right past us. As they bring the ball across the midcourt line now, Taylor. Now it's Bracic with the basketball. Over to Taylor. Taylor Bracic, the open three-pointer is good. Eden Bracic with the big three-pointer. Dolphins lead by 1. 18.8 seconds remaining. Still an eternity to go, Dave.
Yeah, there's plenty of time. Brooklyn has options. They can hold for the last shot. They can try to get one off with about 7 or 8 seconds left. They've been good at second chance opportunities. But, Mike, 2 games in a row, Eden Bracic with a last second or a last possession three-pointer to give the Dolphins a 1-point lead. Now, a few days ago when the Dolphins were in this position, they gave up a basket with 1.2 remaining as at the end of a play like this. Let's see if the Dolphins could squeeze this one out, or can the Bulldogs take it back? Mike, it's been a game with so many lead changes. I don't know. Flip a coin at this point. We have no idea what's happening.
Yeah, and, Brooklyn has been able to score their last 4 points from the free throw line here, Dave, in the last minute. So, if you're Brooklyn College, it's going to be interesting to see. Do they go for the outside shot? They should most likely try to pound the ball inside, Dave, try to either hit the shot or draw the foul.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've been getting the foul call. So if you're Brooklyn, you got to feel pretty confident about that. And Brooklyn's got a lot of offensive rebounds in this game too, Mike. So that's the other thing. Do you put up a shot with 5 or 6 left on the shot clock, understanding that you might get a second chance?
Yeah, I think you have to, Dave. And if you get a good opportunity early in the shot clock down a point, you got to take it. You got to take your best shot at the basket here. So let's see what Brooklyn does, as that's knocked out of bounds. And I thought it might have went off the hands of O'Reilly, but last touch by the Dolphins. So 18.3 remaining here in this half.
Still, the defense was good. Now Maynard gets the benefits of the sideline. We'll see if they want to go to a replay here, Mike. This could be what they might be looking at.
Boy.
Or no, it could be a clock issue. That's why they're going to that side. They were assured. So here we go, 18.3.
So with Grant to inbound the basketball here. And here comes Brooklyn College with the basketball as Cesario will bring it across in the final 10 seconds.
That's the guy you want shooting.
Batash working against Bracic. Batash driving inside. Batash's shot is knocked away. And that's going to do it. The CSI Dolphins come from down 11 points with just over the second half and come all the way back, Dave, and they will advance to the semifinals as they beat Brooklyn College by a final score of 74-73.
Absolutely, Mike. What a moment for these guys. What a moment. They earned it. They had a couple of bad plays go against them. And Mike, Jade Spencer with his 7th block, tied for the most in a single game in CSI history, gets his 7th on that shot by Batash. We'll get another look at it when we can. But what a tremendous job here on this final play. Great job by Batash, but it was Spencer. 7 blocks in the game. That ties a CSI record and a single game record. Good for the young man. Christian Taylor, I believe, Mike, has a triple-double. I have to check the final stats, but I think he had his 10th assist. And you could see TJ Tibbs congratulating Ben Batash and Niv Confino. Just a great moment for the CSI Dolphins.
Yeah, and Dave, the Dolphins find themselves down by 11 points here in the second half, and they were able to come all the way back and fight their way through a couple of free throw fouls, and were able to come all the way back to win the game here this afternoon as they go and advance to the semifinals as they look to defend their CUNYAC championship here tonight. As we're going to be
joined by 2, Mike. Jade Spencer and Christian Taylor.
And Christian Taylor comes over and joins us first. Christian, congratulations.
Thank you.
22 points. You guys were down 11 points in the second half. What'd you guys do to come all the way back?
We just had to stay poised. In practice, we always go through situations, so we felt comfortable at this point of the game. We knew we were going to come back, and we got the dub at the end.
You know, and even working your way down the last couple of minutes, I thought there were a couple of tough fouls called on you on the defensive end. You fell behind by 2, but a couple of big baskets down the stretch. You guys were able to overcome Brooklyn College.
Yep. Christian Taylor, tell me about the last shot. Eden's shot. That shot actually gave you your 10th assist for a triple-double. I don't know if you're aware.
Oh, really?
But how did that play develop? Was that the call? It didn't look like it was the call. Tell us a little bit about what happened on that last play.
Well, we know we have great shooters on our team, so I wanted to drive and dish. I knew he's a great shooter, and he was going to knock it down. He has plenty of confidence with his shot.
It was exciting to watch.
Yeah.
I hope it was exciting for you guys. I hope you have 2 more in you.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, we'll talk to Jade. Congratulations, Chris.
As Christian Taylor, first-team CUNYAC All-American, leads the Dolphins with 22 points.
Look at this good-looking guy right here. 7
Joined
blocks.
now by Jade Spencer. First of all, Jade, congratulations. We believe that last play was your 7th block of the game, tying a Dolphin record.
Tied
it. We wanted to give you 8. I don't know. You got to talk to those guys.
Yeah, they got to, you know.
But Jade, you know, early in this game, you had to come in because of foul trouble to Rob. And so you ended up having a huge impact on this game. Tell me about what's going through your mind getting inserted so early.
I just got to work hard. I know my coach needs me to play defense because that's what I'm best at. And get stops. That's what we need to do.
You know, Jade, the team had such a good year, such a turnover year. You ended up having to play that quarterfinal game, dropping that game in the last second to Lehman College. But the team came out strong tonight and played a very good game, coming back down 11 points.
Yeah, we played hard. We got stops. The coach, he ran the plays that we needed to score. They couldn't stop the pick and roll for me and Christian, so we knew that was their weakness. And coaches keep running with it until we got up.
And Jade, a win like this for you guys, what does it do for you now mentally going into that semifinal against a tough Baruch team?
It just sets a tone. We got to work hard because every team will come out even harder. Brooklyn played their best, so that's the best they played all year. And we know Baruch is not going to play even worse. So we gotta just work hard in practice and get ready for the next game on Tuesday.
Well, listen, as we told Christian, we hope you have 2 more in you, buddy. All right, so good luck in the semifinal round, and we'll see you on Tuesday night.
All right, thanks.
All right, you got it, Jade.
Yeah, and that's Jade Spencer, Dave, as we look down, officially credited with 7 blocks in the game here this afternoon. And Christian Taylor, 12 rebounds, 22 points on 11 of 20 shooting on the game here this afternoon. 11 assists, 12 rebounds. A strong game for Taylor. And, you know, the Dolphins got all the offense they needed. They started out slow in the second half, Dave. They fell behind 11, but they will join the girls at the Nat Holman Gymnasium. The men Tuesday night, 8 o'clock. The ladies in action Wednesday night at 8 o'clock.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it, Mike. And, unfortunately, there won't be live video there at CCNY. That's an indictment on the CUNY Conference, not on us. So please don't blame us for that one. But in any event, follow the live stats. But you know what? Forget about broadcast. Come on out to the Nat Holman Gymnasium. The tickets are free, and come see this championship team, both sides of CUNY championship teams, go at it as they look to bring home another title. What a game, Mike. What a stage set for the semis. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and Dave, it was the kind of game that, it would have been easy to feel a little sorry for yourself. It's a team that doesn't have a huge amount of senior experience on the team, but it was the senior, Edin Bracic, for the second game in a row, hitting the late three-pointer, but this time the Dolphins able to get the defensive stop, Dave, and that was the difference in the game.
Absolutely, Mike. We knew it was anybody's game. We knew around the 5-minute mark it was going to come down to a last possession either way. I'm so grateful the Dolphins were able to hang on to it for these kids, but give nothing away from Brooklyn. They played a tremendous game. As Jade Spencer said, CSI got their best all evening long, and we got treated to a really, really good game, Mike. Officiating aside, we have select words for them, but the bottom line is we got treated to a good one. It's pretty standard fare, Mike, when a CUNY championship comes, that these games are always a little bit of a coin flip. But in any event, we got treated to a good one. Dolphins move on. They'll play Baruch at 8 o'clock on Tuesday night.
And both teams, the men and the women, looking to defend their CUNYAC championship, Dave. And, you got to feel pretty good about the women going into this championship round.
Absolutely, Mike. They play on Wednesday. We'll figure out who their opponents are after tomorrow's games. But they, too, they're going to have the bullseye on their back. We'll see if they could deliver. We certainly hope to see both of these teams in the finals and lifting that trophy one more time. We'll see what happens. It should be interesting no matter what.
Yeah, and of course, we're ever hopeful, Dave, for a little NCAA action for both sides. And, we know that the women have been shooting for that all year long, as have the men in their own way.
Absolutely, Mike. That's what it is, about advancing to the region, representing the CUNY the right way nationally, and that's what the Dolphins are going to be hoping for. Our next broadcast, Mike, will be volleyball in late February, unless CSI makes it. Obviously, it'll be after this game, but if CSI makes the national tournament, CSI Sportsnet will be there. We'll be proud to bring it to you. We'll be accepted at nationals, and that's all we have to say about that, Mike. And until then, we have men's volleyball coming up against Hunter.
And, of course, Dave, the season's never stopped, and we'll turn right over into the spring and get you ready for softball and baseball as well.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it. Don't let the snow fool you. It's getting nicer outside. We're supposed to get 70 degrees on Tuesday. Wipe all that snow out. Let's play some softball.
So that's going to wrap things up here from the tank. The CSI Dolphins come back down 11, and they beat Brooklyn College by a final score of 74-73. So for our broadcast engineer, Arthur Kapitanakis, and my broadcast partner, Dave Pizzuto, this is Mike Babusky saying so long and thanks for watching. Don't forget, our next broadcast will be the men's volleyball home opener against Hunter College. We'll be on the air at 5:30 with the opening serve at 6 o'clock. So have a great night, everybody, and come out to the Nat Holman Gymnasium as both the men and women look to defend their CUNYAC championships. Have a great evening, everybody, and we'll see you soon.